Today I'm going to start training for ISO International Standard 45001, which is a occupational health and safety management system. Requirement guidance for use. So earlier, as you know, that we were using OSHA's 18001-2007 standard, and that was replaced by ISO 45001 in 2018. After 2018, there was 3 years time from the ISO to implement the ISO 45001 till June. And after then, this standard was in place and it's using by all companies in the world. Now, there is no more OSHA's 18001-2007 standard in use, and if anyone is using, that is not valid. So in this training, I will give you the guidance and I will give you very brief introduction and the information about the ISO 45001. All the standards I will cover in this training, and you will be very comfortable to use this document. Okay. After this document, once you go through the ISO 45001, all the clauses, you will come to know that how to do the audit. And for the audit, there is another document which we are calling ISO 19011 guidelines for auditing management system. How you have to audit. Once you finish this training ISO 45001, now you have to do the audit. How you can do the audit, whether you are doing the internal audit or whether you are doing the external audit. What are the protocol you have to follow during the audits? All these things I will teach you in this training, International Standard ISO 19011, 3rd edition 2018-7. So this training I will cover in different parts. Maybe I'm not sure how many parts it will take, but I will not stretch the training very long. Otherwise, you won't be able to focus in the training. So during this training, I will give you very important information how to follow the standards and what are the documents you can use. And after this training also, in the future, I will create the checklist for the HSE audit checklist, inspection checklist, and other checklists. So that will be very helpful for you to manage the system. After doing NEBOSH IGC or NEBOSH diploma, if you've gone through this ISO 45001, it will be very helpful for you. Only doing the NEBOSH IGC or other training, that is not enough for you to grow in your career. You should know about the management system also, because all of the companies around the world, they are using the ISO 45001 for the HSE management system also, to get the certificate also, which is very helpful for the business to grow. So during this training, please focus on the training, because very crucial information I'm going to share with you. And please do not forget to subscribe my channel and like my videos, and please do share with your colleague and friends as well. If you do not subscribe the channel, future I will upload other parts of this training, so you won't get them in a timely manner. So please subscribe my channel, and please show your support also, so I can bring some important content in the future as well. So let's start our training ISO 45001 International Standards. So first I will finish this one, the standard. Then I will finish how to do the audit. International Standard ISO 19001, how to do the audit. But first we have to finish the ISO 45001 standard. So let's move. I'm not giving you the training from other material. That's why I choose directly ISO 45001 standard only from the ISO. If you don't know about the ISO, what is ISO? You can go to my previous, there is one video I have uploaded regarding the ISO information. I will share the link also in the description. So you will get that video also, and you can come to know about what is ISO and how we are using in our business. Once I will finish all this training, I will provide you these two documents, 45001 standards and 19011 standard, at the end of the video, in the end part, last part. Okay, so let's go to the contents. What are the contents is there in this training? So forward, introduction, scope, normative references, terms and definitions. So the clauses will start from here. So total, how many? Let's see. So total we have 10 clauses. So you can see here. So these are the total 10 clauses. Annex A, non-informative guidance on the use of these documents, bibliography, and alphabetical index of terms. So these are the total content we have for this training. As you can see here, there are total 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, and total 10 clauses we have. But when you are using these documents and when you are doing the audit or any third-party certification body, they will come for the audit. They will audit you only for the 7 clauses from 4. So these clause number 1, 2, 3, these are not audited clauses. So they will not audit you for these 3 clauses. These 3 clauses, scope 1, 2, and 3, that these 3 clauses you will use only for your reference purpose. For the definition, scope, normative reference, terms and definitions, only those you will use it. So if you are doing the audit or any third party, they are coming for the audit, they will audit you from clause number 4, context of the organization, from 4 till 10. So how many clauses we have for the audit? So total 7 clauses we have for the audit. Total 10 is there. Out of 10, there are 7 clauses for the audit. So you have to audit 7 clauses also, or the third party, they will come for the audit. They will audit you as per these 7 clauses. I hope it is clear till now. So forward, it is not that much important. It will just tell you that what is the ISO. So it will give you introduction about the ISO and how it's working. So this forward, it's not that much important. Introduction, it is also not that important. It will give you the background. An introduction is responsible for the occupational health and safety workers and others who can be affected by its activity. The aim of OHS management system, it will tell you what is the aim of the OHS management system, occupational health and safety management system. Success factors, the implementation of OHS management system is a strategic and operational decision for an organization. So it's also not important. And as you know that this system is work on plan, do, check, act cycle. PDCA we have learned in NEBOSH ICC also and NEBOSH diploma also. If you are doing NEBOSH ICC or you are doing NEBOSH diploma, this training is very, very important for you also. So once you go through this training, you will come to know about the complete management system, and which is a requirement of NEBOSH IC1 and the NEBOSH diploma ID1. So plan, determine and assess an OHS risk, OHS opportunities, other risk and other opportunities, establish OHS objectives, process, policies within the organization. In the do part, what you have to do, you have to implement the process as planned. Whatever you are planning here on the plan, that you have to implement at the do. Once you implement all these things, you have to do the checking, whether your system is working properly or not. How you can check? You will gonna check through the audit, inspections, and objective and targets. So through these things, you're gonna check it. Once you check, if there is any issues or you have to continuously improve, then you have to act. You have to take the actions for the continued improvement. So this is the PDCA cycle. P here, D here, C, and A. The P, as you know that there are total 7 clauses. We have the clause number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These 7 clauses are audited, as I said earlier. And we have to start. And in the planning section, these are the clauses will come. Clause number 4, 5, and 6, and 7. So these are the clauses will come with the clause number in the planning section. After then, you have to do the operation. You have to do the operation. Then you have the performance evaluation through the audit. Then act part improvement, clause number 10. That will come here. And outcome of this is the intended outcome of the OHS management system. Relationship between the PDCA and the framework in this document, contents of this document. This document conforms to ISO's requirements of management system standards. So that is also not this much important. Okay. There, now these terms are very, very important. Okay. In this document, the following verbal forms are used. Shall indicates a requirement. If you get anywhere in this document shall, so that will tell you that yes, it is a requirement that you have to must follow. Should indicates a recommendation. If there is any should, it will tell you, yeah, tell you that the recommendation, it is a recommendation. It is not the requirement, but it is a recommendation. If you do, it is a good practice. May indicates a permission. Then if there is any word may, any sentence with the sentence may is there, then it will give you the permission. Can indicates possibility or capability. If there is a word can, it will tell you that yes, it could be possible, or the person or organization has a capability. Information mark as note is for guidance in understanding or clarifying the associate requirement. If there is any note word is there, so it will give you the more information. It will give you the guidance and it will give you the more information so you can easily understand the things. Notes to entry used in clause number 3 provide additional information that supplements the terminological data and can contain provisions relating to the use of a term. Let's move forward. Okay. So occupational health and safety management system requirement with guidance for use. So as I said that scope, the clause number first, scope is not that important. It will tell you this document specifies requirement for an occupational health and safety management system and gives guidance for its use to enable organizations to provide safe and healthy workplace by preventing work-related injury and ill health, as well as by proactively improving its OHS performance. So this is the scope of this document. So ISO 45001 scope, this is the one. After then we have the clause number 2, normative references. There are no normative references in this document. After that we have the clause number 3, terms and definitions. For the purpose of this document, the following terms and definitions apply. ISO and IEC maintain terminological database for use in standardization at the following addresses. ISO online browsing platform available. So this is the website of ISO. You can get more information if you need. Now, these are the definition. We'll start here. If you want to know what is the organization, you can go to the person or group of people that has its own functions with the responsibilities, authorities, and relationship to achieve its objectives. So these are the definitions. We'll start here. Interested parties, preferred term, stakeholder, admitted term, person or organization that can be affected by, or perceive itself to be affected by a decision or activity. You may have heard that stakeholder or interested parties. Who are they? A stakeholder or interested parties, it could be any person, any organization, any legal bodies, any certification bodies, anyone who is getting affected by your work. Interested parties, it could be your organization neighbor because they are getting affected by your activities. If you are doing any work, they certainly get affected. So all these people, they are interested parties. Your employees, they are also your interested parties. Your supplier, they are also your interested parties. So all these people, whoever is getting affected by your activities, they are your interested parties. Worker, as you know that anyone who is working for your company, they are the worker. Participation, involvement, consultation. Consultation is the new word now. Okay. Consultation means seeking views before making a decision. Now, when you do the communication, it could be one way or it could be two-way communication. But consultation is always two-way communication. During the consultation, what you have to do, you have to give the information and you have to take the information as well. And you have to take the views before taking any decisions. That's called consultation. Workplace, contractor, requirement, legal requirements, management system, occupational health and safety management system, OHS management system, top management, the group or person of a top people in the organization, effectiveness, extent to which planned activities are realized and planned result achieved. Policy, occupational health and safety policy, objective, occupational health and safety objective, injury and ill health, hazard, risk, occupational health and safety risk, OHS risk, occupational health and safety opportunities, competence. Competence means ability to apply knowledge and skills to achieve intended result. Then we have the documented information. What is the meaning of documented information? Information required to be controlled and maintained by an organization and the medium on which it is contained. So the documented information, any documents which you are managing. Process, set of interrelated or interacting activities which transforms inputs into outputs. Then we have the procedure, a specified way to carry out an activity or a process. Performance, measurable result, how you can measure through the KPI, through the objective and targets, through like audit, inspections. So these are the performance you can measure. Outsource, make an arrangement where an external organization performs part of organization functions or process. Outsource means any service or any activity you are taking from the external supplier. Monitoring, determining the result status of the system, a process or an activity. You have to check monitoring, measurement, process to determine a value. Audit, conformity, non-conformity. Okay, conformity means fulfillment of a requirement. NC, you may heard this word, non-conformity. NC means non-fulfillment of a requirement. If you are not fulfilling the requirement of ISO standard, that is a NC. If you are not fulfilling the requirement of legal standard, that is a NC also. Incident, accident, I hope you know. If you don't know, you can go through this definition. Corrective action, action to eliminate the cause of a non-conformity or an incident and prevent reoccurrence. That is a corrective action. Continual improvement. Okay. Recurring activity or enhanced performance. Now that was in the clause number 3 till 1 to 3. As I told you that these 1 to 3 clauses are not auditable. The people in the audit team, they don't audit these things, but it is important for you. You can go through these clause number 1 to 3 to get the more information, to get the definition in clause number 3. So that's all 1 to 3. Now we will start our main clauses, which is clause number 4, context of the organization. The clause number 4, context of the organization, and there is a sub clause, clause number 4.1. It's saying that understanding the organization and its context. The organization shall means it is a requirement. I give you 4 words. There is a shall, can, may. Okay. So the organization shall determine external and internal issues that are relevant to its purpose, and that affect its ability to achieve the intended outcome of its occupational health and safety management system. So when you are setting any management system, occupational health and management system, that time you have to identify the internal and external issues which can affect your businesses. So when you are identifying the internal and external issues that can affect your business, so what are the things you can consider? So when you are considering those things, I will suggest you to do the SWOT analysis. Okay. When you are doing the SWOT analysis, I hope you know about the SWOT analysis. Let me go. SWOT, SWOT analysis. So you can do this on SWOT analysis. So it will tell you that what is your strength, what is your weakness. So once you will come to know about the strength, weakness, threats, and opportunity. So weakness and threats, these two we have to consider your internal and external issues. Okay. So it will tell you that what are your internal issues and what are your external issues. So the internal issues, it could be your like cultural difference. In your organization, there are different people are working. Different people from the different countries, different culture, different religion, and they have the different faith. And if these people are coming from the different nationalities, different languages, different religion, and the person who is managing the health and safety there, and he don't know that how to communicate with these people, so it will be very difficult to manage the health and safety management system. So it is an issue now. It is an internal issue. I'm giving you example, one of the internal issue and one of the external issue. So this is the internal issue which will affect your health and safety management system in your organizations. So now you identified the issues. So these issues you have to identify one by one, how they're going to affect your business. Now the example of external issues. External issue, it could be that this is one external issue like ISO 45001. Earlier, there was OSHA's 18001 2007 that was implemented, and we were managing OSHA's 18000 2007. After then, ISO 45001 come. Now this is the issue now. The people who don't know that ISO 45001, it is a new requirement and how they have to implement that, and they will not implement that, and maybe there are some issues in the implementation. Now, what is the issue here? Now, the issue here, when the third party, they will come for the audit, you will get the NCs, non-conformity, because you didn't implement the health and safety management system in your organization. One more example for the external issues. In UAE, in 2018, I hope in 2018, they started the VAT. Now what happened? Now the prices are increased. That is the external issues by the government. And what we have to do, we are taking the 5% VAT from each and every product. So that is the external issues also, because that will affect the business also. Because now previous the price was 5 dirham. Now the price is price will include 5% VAT as well. So these are the external issues. So likewise, you have to identify the internal and external issues which is affecting your health and safety management system. So that you have to do in 4.1 clause number. So now how are you going to relate these things in your HSE manual, HSE plan? When you are making the HSE manual as per the ISO 45001, you have to write down in clause number 4.1. This is my internal issues, and these are the external issues which will affect my business that you have to do. Now, 4.2, understanding the needs and expectation of workers and other interested parties. Okay, it is a requirement also. The organization shall determine. Shall means it is a requirement. You have to do that. It is a must. Okay. So organization shall determine when you are identifying interested parties and their needs and expectations. Sorry. What you have to do, how you gonna do that? First, other interested parties in addition to workers that are relevant to occupational health and safety management system. Not only the worker, they are your interested parties. Other than worker also need to be identified. The relevant needs and expectation means requirements of workers and other interested parties that you have to identify. Which of these needs and expectations are or could become legal requirement and other requirements that you have, that also you have to identify. Okay. Now I'll tell you that, I'll show you that how you can do that. Let me go to Excel. So when you are making your interested parties, let's say that, okay, there's a serial number 1, 2, 3 that you can do here. That here you will write interested parties. Okay. So interested parties will come here. Now you identify the interested parties. Now you have to identify the needs and expectations. Needs and expectations. Okay. And how to achieve. How you gonna achieve that? Okay. So let's say that my interested parties, I will give you two examples, one internal interested parties and one external interested parties. Okay. My first interested parties for the internal is worker. Okay. So the workers are my interested parties. Now, what is their needs and expectation? For the workers, needs and expectation could be more. They need salary on time. Okay. They need safety and security as well. They need equality. Okay. They need growth, like career growth, and They need training as well, on-job training or other training. So these are the requirement of our first interested parties, which is workers. Now, how are you going to achieve them? So when you are writing the needs and expectation in one column, you have to write only one. Then you have to tell here how you're going to achieve that. Let's say that salary on time. How you're going to achieve that? You have to make sure that worker like attendance sheets submit on time. Okay, attendance submit on time to make sure that they get salary on time. So that is one of the requirement, and in this way you're going to achieve them. So this is for the internal one. Now I will give you the external. Who is your external party? It could be supplier. Supplier, your interested external party. Okay. So what is their needs and expectation? They need payment on time. Payment on time. And product specification. Like if you are getting any product, they need the product specification first so they can deliver the exact product before any delay, to avoid any delay. So the payment on time, how you going to do that? Proper communication. And invoices delivered and like submit on time. And for the product specification, you have to make sure that you are submitting the product specification on time. Submit on time. Okay. So this is the way you have to use it, and in this way you have to achieve your interested parties needs and expectation. What you can do, you can make one Excel sheet like this. Okay, you have to identify your interested parties, their needs and expectation, and how you're going to achieve that. When you are going to achieve that, you have to write down the status also. What is the status? Is it open? Is it closed? And the timeline when you're going to implement these things. So these timelines also you have to put there. So I hope you are aware that now how to do these things. Okay, first you have to identify your interested parties, worker, internal and external interested parties, their needs and expectation, what they required from you, and how you're going to achieve them, and what is the status now. So that is the requirement of clause number 4.2, understanding the needs and expectation of workers and other interested parties. And when you are making the manual, in the manual you have to identify your interested parties first. Who is your interested parties? Okay. After then determining the scope of occupational health and safety management system, the organization shall determine the boundaries and application of occupational health and management system to stabilize its scope. Clause number 4.3, it's particularly asking you about the scope of your business. What is your scope? What you are doing? Suppose I'm a production factory, and my business, they are doing some production. Let's say that my business providing some services. Okay. So my business, let's say that my business providing services of the cleaning service. So how are you going to write my occupational health and safety management scope in the manual? In the manual, I have to write that the business scope is providing soft cleaning services. Okay. So in that way, you have to write down the scope. It should not be too much broad. You have to write down exactly what you are doing. What is your business is doing. Okay, that you have to write down. When determining this scope, the organization shall, so it is a requirement, consider the external and internal issues referred to in clause number 4.1. Internal and external issues you identify through the SWOT analysis that you have to consider. Take into account the requirements referred into 4.2, okay, interested parties requirements. Take into account the planned or performed work-related activities. What are the work-related activities that you are doing that you have to consider when you are developing the scope of occupational health and management system for your business? The occupational health and safety management system shall include the activities, products, and services within the organization control or influence that can impact the organization occupational health and safety management system performance. The scopes shall be available as documented information. Okay. So wherever you will see the documented information, you have to make sure that the scope should be mentioned in your HSE plan or your occupational health and safety management system ISO plan, this 45001. So that should be mentioned in there. Okay. So it's saying that when you are making the scope, you have to make sure that it should include your activities. What are the activities you are doing? Maybe the cleaning service, maybe you are providing the security services, maybe you are doing any like maintenance services, and the products, what are the products you are producing, and other services that you are providing. So those things should be included in your scope, business scope. So sometimes these scopes are let's say that it's mentioned in the ISO certificate also. Let me show you. ISO 45001 certificate. Okay, let me show you some images. If there is, okay, let me see this one. Certificate, okay, production. Oh, okay, let me show you this one. So, okay. So now in this one, you can see here, okay, the scope. There's the ISO certificate for the particular company. Okay, it is an issue for them. So it's saying that you can see here, this is the scope also. So now the clear scope, it's mentioned here. It's saying that production and sale of fasteners, mechanical anchors, drawn wire, tools, vanishing of self-drilling screws. So this is the scope. The same way you have to mention in your manual, HSE manual, when you are implementing or when you are creating any HSE manual, the same way you have to write down your scope. Okay. I hope it's clear now how you have to write down the scope. After that, OHS management system, occupational health and safety management system. The organization shall establish, implement, maintain, and continually improve an occupational health and safety management system, including the processes needed and their interactions in accordance with the requirements of these documents. So the occupational health and safety management system should be established. Shall means it is a requirement. So occupational safety management system should be established. It should be implemented also, and it should be maintained and continually improved. So it should be maintained. You have to make sure that it is maintained. After implementation, it is maintained. Maintaining means the requirements you already identified earlier, they are working properly, and you have to continually improve. Continually improve means if there is any changes in the occupational management system, legal requirements, so those should be continually included in this one, updated also. Okay, and that should be improved also. Your management systems should include your improvements. Maybe your business improve, but that you are not including in your management system. It should not be like this. So it should be improved. So that's all for the clause number 4. So in the clause number 4, we have three most important things: understanding the organization and its context, understanding the needs and expectation of workers and other interested parties, and determining the OHS management system scope, your business boundaries. Now let's start the clause number 5, leadership and worker participation. So clause number 5.1 subclause, which is a leadership and commitment. How your leadership, they can demonstrate the commitment towards health and safety management system. It will tell you that. Now it is saying that top management shall. So shall means requirement. Top management shall demonstrate leadership and commitment with respect to the occupational health and safety management system. By how? How they can demonstrate the commitment? Taking overall responsibilities and accountability for the prevention of work-related injury and ill health, as well as the provision of safe and healthy workplaces and activities. Now, so how you can relate this one with the top management and where you can show this one? So I will tell you that when you are making any job description for the top management or manager or supervisor, write down all these requirements. Okay, copy, you can directly copy from here, and you can copy paste on the JD on the each and every person as per their designation. If it is a CO, taking overall responsibility and accountability for the prevention of these things, it will go. Okay. If there is other managers, just write down ensuring the occupational policy, these things will apply. So in that way, you will comply this clause 5.1. After that, ensuring that the OHS policy related OHS objectives are established. Okay. It is the requirement that top management shall establish policy and objectives related to occupational policies and compatible with the strategic direction in the organization. So the second commitment, how you gonna achieve? By setting the KPIs or OHS objectives and targets. So in that way also you can show the that way you can show the commitment of a top management. After then, ensuring the integration of the occupational health and management system requirements into the organization business process. The second thing is by implementing the ISO 45001 with relates to the organization needs and expectation and the process. That is also ensuring that the resources needed to establish, implement, maintain, and improve the occupational health and safety management system are available. By providing the resources, by allocating the budget, like let's say that top management allocating the budget for health and safety department 100,000 in a year. So that is also one of the commitment. Providing the proper machinery, proper training to improve OHS management system. That is also the commitment of top management. Communicating the importance of effectiveness OHS management system conforming to the occupational health management system requirements. Okay. Communication also, it is the commitment of top management. It will show you that the top management is committed to health and safety management system and communicating its requirement to the business. Ensuring that the OHS management system achieve its intended outcome. When OHS achieving its objective and targets, it is the management commitment also. Directing and supporting persons to contributing the effectiveness of occupational health and management. It is the top management responsibility that directing the people and supporting the people to make sure that they are achieving the business occupational health and safety management system requirements. Ensuring and promoting continual improvement. If your business continually improve, that can also show you that your management, their commitment to the occupational health and safety management system. Then we have the supporting other relevant management roles to demonstrate their leadership as it is applied to their areas of responsibilities. If your top management, they are supporting the other department like manager, supervisor to make sure that they are achieving their roles and responsibilities by providing the leadership. Then developing, leading, and promoting a culture in the organization that support the intended outcomes in the OHS management system. If top management, they are showing the health and safety culture in the department, then it is a top management commitment also. How they can show the top health and safety management system culture? So by recognizing the people who's doing the good job, they are managing the health and safety by giving the certificate, by giving the appreciation, by giving some prize. So it is the safety culture also that can promote the culture in the organization. Top management, they are following the all health and safety rules and regulation. Whenever they are visiting, they are wearing the helmet, they are wearing the PPE, proper PPE. That is also the top management commitment, and it will show you the culture, say health and safety culture in the organization, which is followed by the top management. After then, protecting workers from reprisals when reporting incident, hazards, and risk and opportunities. If any worker, they are reporting any hazard, risk, and opportunities, incidents, how your system is going to protect them from the reprisals, from the termination, from discrimination, from any other unwanted things. So these things also you have to identify. That is also one of the commitment of top management. Ensuring the organization establishes and implements a processes for consultation and participation of workers. Okay. So communication and consultation also is one of the requirements. Consultation means taking the views, taking the advice from the lower level staff also before you are implementing any system. Let's say that you want to change one process. Before suddenly changing the process, go and talk with the people who's working in that particular area. Take their views, ask them how the system is going to affect them. The previous system is good or the new system will be the good. So this is the consultation. You are taking the views or you are talking with the people. After then, supporting the establishment and functioning of health and safety committee. And you have to implement the health and safety committee also. And your top management, they are supporting, they are attending the health and safety committee meetings. So that is the requirement of top management for. Okay. So in these, all of the things can show and can demonstrate the top management commitment towards occupational health and safety management system improvement. Okay, let's say that note, what it's saying. Reference to business in this document can be interpreted broadly to mean those activities that are core to the purpose of the organization extends. Business means any organization or the activities that you are performing. So that is the clause number 5.1, leadership and their commitment. After that, we have the OHS policy. Top management shall means requirement, establish, implement, maintain an OHS policy. So when you are managing, when you are creating any occupational health and safety policy, it should include a commitment to provide safe and healthy working conditions for the prevention of work related to injury and ill health and is appropriate to the purpose, size, and context of the organization and to specific nature of its OHS risk and OHS opportunity. Okay. When you are creating any policy, make sure it should provide the commitment to provide healthy and safe working conditions, top management commitment, legal requirement, and its purpose, size of the business, context of the organization, interested parties. Okay. So these things need to be included, and OHS opportunities also. Provides a framework for setting the OHS objectives. So objectives related things also need to be included in the policy. It should include the commitment to fulfill the legal requirements and other requirements. It should include a commitment to eliminate hazards and reduce OHS risk. Includes a commitment to continual improvement, OHS management system. Includes a commitment to consultation, participation of workers, and where they exist, workers representative. So these are the requirements that you have to follow when you are preparing any OHS policy. So I'll show you one of the OHS policy. Let me show you any OHS policy, which is good one. Okay. Let me check that whether it is including all requirement or not. Okay. Okay, it is saying that a safe and healthy environment for employees. So the X which is committed to the prevention of injury and illness. So it is one of the requirement. And healthy work environment for employees, contractor, customers, visitors, and passers-by. So it is included the interested parties also. Who is the interested parties? External bodies also. Employees are internal, and contractors, customers, visitors, and passers-by, they are the external. So it is included. The management team ensure it achieves its OHS objectives. So now see, it is included the OHS objectives and the compliance with the state. Okay. It is ISO 18001 also by meeting. It should be 45001. Okay. After then, it's saying that the company employs and trains. So training requirements also it mentioned. We have the skills and competence required for the duties undertake. All employees, contractor, health responsibility also is there. Employee in workshop is empowered to stop activities and see. So empowered. So the power is given to stop activities. If there is any unsafe activities are going on, they have the power to stop them. Provide information, instruction, and training, and worker supervision, educate to exposure to hazardous. See, this one also is there. Okay. Continually review, continual improvements is there, and process and work instruction in consultation. So consultation word also is there. It should be there. So whenever you are making any policy, consultation and participation and communication should be there also with the workers. Improve occupational. So improvement also is there by adoptive practicals as per the improvement management register. And it is signed by the managing director, 3rd April 2016, Kevin Gibbs. So one more requirements I would like to state here. Whenever you are making the policy, you have to state in the policy that when you're going to review this policy, maybe annually, maybe every year, maybe 6 months, maybe every 2 years. So that should be indicated in your policy also. So that is the requirements. So once you implement the policy, once you create the policy and implement it, the policy shall, it is a requirement, be available as documented information. So it should not be like this, once you create and you will lose it. So you have to retain a document. So whenever there is any audit, you have to show them. Be communicated within the organization. It should be communicated within the organization. Organization means inside the organization. So it should be communicated with your employees. Okay. All employees, top to bottom. How you going to communicate? There are different sources of communication. There are different ways of communication. TBT, internal trainings, on-job trainings, and any poster, notice board, salary slip, website. Okay, so these are the way of communication for the policy. Be available to interested parties as appropriate. And these should be communicated to the interested parties also, like your suppliers, like your customers, like legal bodies, certification bodies. All these people should be communicated. When you are communicating, you have to retain the evidence also of the communication. Sorry. You have to keep the record of communication. Communication record, it could be mail. Okay. And when you are keeping these all evidences, make sure you are making a separate folder. Soft copies are enough. No need to print out, nothing. Okay. So you can just copy and paste. Just keep one separate folder for the audit, the folder wise. After that, be relevant and appropriate. So when you are creating any health and safety policy, that should be relevant to your organization, to your activities, to your business. So many people, what they will do, they will just copy and paste from the website, which is not relevant to their business. It should not be like this. So whenever you are creating any policy, that should be appropriate, that should be relevant to your work activities, your organization, and your employees, size of the organization. So all these things need to be considered. So after then, clause number 5.3, organization roles, responsibilities, and authority. The top management shall ensure that the responsibilities and authorities for relevant roles within the occupational health and management systems are assigned and communicated at all levels within the organization and maintained as documented information. Workers at each level of the organization shall assume responsibility for those aspects of the OHS management system over which they have control. Now, how are you going to achieve this clause 5.3? The simple is that create the JD, job responsibilities. When you are creating the job responsibilities, make sure the requirement of the business is there, requirement of the OHS management system is there, the responsibilities, what are the responsibilities as per the position wise, what they can do, and what are their authorities, what they are authorized, whether they have authorized to stop the business, stop the production, stop the activity or not. And one more thing, when they are not there, in the business, in the services, who is going to replace that person? Maybe the person is on vacation, maybe the person on holiday or sick. So who is going to take his responsibility at that time? That also you should mention in the job description. So while responsibility and authority can be assigned, ultimately top management is still accountable for the functioning of the OHS management system. Top management shall assign the responsibility and authority. So whenever you are making any JD, it is a requirement of top management that ensuring that the OHS management systems conforms to the requirements of this document, reporting on the performance of the OHS management system to top management. That is the requirement. After that, we have the consultation with the workers. How you can consultate. Consultation and participation of workers. It is the requirement of ISO 45001. The organization shall establish, implement, and maintain a process for consultation and participation of workers at all applicable levels and functions, and where they exist, workers' representatives in the development, planning, implementation, and performance evaluation and actions for improvements of the OHS management system. So there should be one process, let's say SOP, standard operating process, how you're going to consultate with the worker and how you're going to participate, make sure that workers are participating in some processes. So what you have to do, you have to implement a process for consultation and participation of workers, all level. Okay, it should not be like that only the top level people will be consulted and participate. We have to make for all level, top level and down level also, their functions also, and where they exist, workers representatives. If the workers you cannot involve, you can involve the worker representative. Maybe the 50 people is there, out of 51 people you can take it, maybe the cleaner, maybe the any mason, any welder, anyone it could be. In the development, okay, where you will take them, in the development, in the planning, in the implementation, in the performance evaluation, and actions for improvement of OHS management system. So whenever you are doing these things for OHS management system, for development, planning, implementation, and performance evaluations, and actions for improvement of OHS management system, then you have to take the worker consultation and you have to make sure that they are participating in this one. So that process should be there. When you are, the organization shall provide mechanisms, time, training, and resources necessary for consultation and participation. Let's say that you are taking one of the staff for the consultation and participation, but the staff don't know that what is that consultation and participation, what is the process. So you have to make sure that before you are taking that staff, you have to provide the mechanism, time, training, and resources necessary for this consultation and participation. When you are taking the staff for the training or consultation and participation, it should not be like that he has to work for the extra hours. That should not be that. That should be avoided. Worker representation can be mechanism for consultation and participation. Then we have to provide timely access to clear, understandable, and relevant information about the OHS management system. So worker representative or any worker, they should get the timely access to clear, understandable, and relevant information about the OHS management system. It is the requirement. Determine and remove obstacles or barriers to participation and minimize those that cannot be removed. And if there is any obstacle that will give to the employee that he or she, they cannot participate in the consultation and participation, then those barriers should be removed. Obstacles and barriers can include failure to respond to worker inputs or suggestions, maybe the language, literacy barrier, they cannot write, they cannot speak, reprisals or threats of reprisals, policies or practices that discourage or penalize worker participation. So these are the barriers that you have to deal with them, and how you want to protect them. These things should be included in your process, worker participation and consultation process. So that's all for today training. In my next part, I will start from D. Okay, that is a consultation, communication and consultation process, because this clause number 5.4, it is a little bit lengthy, so it will take some more time, and I want to give you some more information and the examples also, so you will understand this clause very effectively, and it will be easy for you to implement also. Okay, so thank you so much for your time and patience. I hope you like this video and the information so far I provided to you. Please do not forget to subscribe my channel and like my videos, and please do share with your friends and colleagues as well. And if you do subscribe, please make sure that you are attending this training also, because in future these training will gonna more effective, and it will be very easy for your career to grow also. And I promise that these training will definitely gonna help your career growth. Okay, so thank you so much for your time and patience. See you in the next video.